Magomed Ankalaev just beat Alex Pereira by unanimous decision. And my prediction was pretty damn wrong. Okay, if you guys saw my video, it was saying that Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev would not be close. Okay, and I really believe so because I thought the striking of Alex Pereira would be able to get him an early knockout, or at least like a knockout in the 3rd round. And I knew that Ankalaev would try to strike with Alex Pereira, which he did. But the game plan of Ankalaev won him this fight, in my opinion. I have a lot of things to say, but first we'll start off with just the performance itself, okay? Magomed Ankalaev, in my opinion, won 3 rounds to 2. Okay, I think he deserved this win. I think Ankalaev's game plan was perfect for this fight, and I was not expecting him to fight Alex the way he did, which was basically get in Alex's face and press him. And Alex Pereira's game plan, or Alex Pereira, how he looked in there, was actually really underwhelming in comparison to Magomed Ankalaev. Okay, there was a lot of things that I expected Alex Pereira to do, which he did not do, and there was a lot of things I expected Ankalaev to do, which he did not do, to my surprise. So first of all, I think the striking of Magomed Ankalaev is actually a lot better than I thought. I think Magomed Ankalaev's boxing really was giving Alex Pereira issues. Alex Pereira was getting hit. We saw, I think, in the 2nd round, Alex Pereira got dropped with that left hand of Magomed Ankalaev. And Alex Pereira was extremely hesitant. Basically, the entire fight, Alex Pereira did not have much output from his hands until like the 5th round, where he started using the jab. And that's what won Ankalaev this fight, in my opinion. I think Ankalaev was winning on the feet. The only thing Alex Pereira was really doing was spamming the lead leg kick, which I was expecting him to do. I think all of us were expecting Alex Pereira to land the lead leg kick, but he almost looked desperate. Like he was just throwing it over and over and over again. And that's kind of all he was thinking about. He did not really engage Ankalaev on the feet, and he was getting pressed back, especially later in the fight. And I think that was the big issue with Alex Pereira in this fight. He was on his back foot the entire time, and we don't usually see Alex Pereira on the back foot. And he's not as good of a striker when he's on his back foot, clearly. Right, most fighters aren't. But Magomed's power, too, was extremely surprising. I did not think Magomed Ankalaev would have the power he did, but he landed a punch literally on the top of Alex Pereira's head, like on his forehead, and rocked him. That was really impressive. I think the power in the boxing of Magomed Ankalaev was a serious issue for Alex Pereira, and I don't know if he's going to be able to fix that. The thing I was expecting from Alex, though, was to use the jab. I thought that, Magomed Ankalaev, he does pressure his opponents. I thought Alex Pereira would rely on his jab more as like a rangefinder. He has a bigger reach. Ankalaev will pressure towards you. I thought Alex Pereira would pop his jab out to keep Ankalaev away. Alex Pereira has a stiff jab, but we didn't really see that until the 5th round. Right in the 5th round, Alex Pereira used it. He actually landed that jab twice, and it did a lot of damage. But throughout the entire fight, we just didn't see that. And we didn't see really any output from Alex Pereira through the entire, 1st to 4th round in terms of punches. Right, we saw a little bit, but just not as much as most people expected. And I think that's because Magomed Ankalaev is just that good in terms of boxing. But there's a big controversy with this fight, and it's the judges' scorecard. All right, the judges really fucked this up, or at least one of the judges. 2 of the judges gave it 48-47, which is what I scored the fight. One judge scored it 49-46. I think that's ridiculous. I think if anything, you could give the fight to Alex Pereira. I don't think he deserves the win just because, it goes down to the 5th round, right? I have Alex Pereira. I think he won the 1st and the 3rd round. It's down to the 5th round. I had it tied up going into the 5th round. Ankalaev had the control of the 5th round. I think Pereira might have slighted Ankalaev on the damage. But you can't really be upset and call robbery. I know a lot of people are calling robbery about this fight. You can't really be pissed off that Ankalaev got the decision, because Ankalaev, dude, was the one who dropped Alex. Okay, it's not like this guy was, this wasn't like a Jan Blachowicz fight where Pereira was beating Ankalaev's ass on the feet, and then Ankalaev, shot for takedowns for, the last 2 rounds or something and got a robbery. Ankalaev was beating Alex Pereira on the feet, and I think that's what matters the most. And that's the shocking thing coming from this fight, is that Alex Pereira was getting beat on the feet. All Alex Pereira really had to offer against Magomed Ankalaev was the lead low kick, which was doing damage, but that's all he was really throwing. Like, I don't remember Alex really throwing anything other than that lead low kick for the majority of the fight. So this is kind of upsetting, right? Like, for most people, we don't want to see Alex Pereira not be champion, right? But I think they're going to do this rematch, and I want to talk about this rematch because I think it's actually, Alex Pereira losing is kind of a good thing for the light heavyweight division, because If Alex Pereira just like flatlined Ankalaev, what else happens? Like there's nothing else really happens in the light heavyweight division. I think Alex Pereira probably moves up. But this loss, especially a close loss like this, I think warrants a rematch. I think they'll probably do it sometime in the summer or October in Abu Dhabi. And I don't think Alex Pereira wins the rematch. Like, I think there's adjustments he can make for sure, like the ones I was talking about, like the jab. I think if Alex Pereira really just committed with his punches and used his jab as the rangefinder to keep, Ankalaev off of him, he would have more success. But I just don't think at this point in time, Alex Pereira is going to be 38 by the next time they fight. I think all the cards are stacked against Alex Pereira in the rematch. And my early prediction on this fight, I think I would actually be leaning towards Magomed Ankalaev. But the last thing I'll say about this fight is that Alex Pereira's takedown defense was actually pretty good. And I think it surprised a decent amount of people because a lot of people were really just saying Alex Pereira's, going to get taken down at will. I never thought that. I never thought that Alex Pereira would get taken down at will, and he didn't. Right? He defended basically every single takedown. I think every single takedown he defended, maybe 14 takedowns or 11 takedowns stuffed. And that's what I expected, but that doesn't win you the fight. Alex Pereira at the end of the day got outstruck by Magomed Ankalaev. He got outboxed specifically. Magomed Ankalaev was landing a couple of low kicks. Alex Pereira was winning in the low kick department, but they weren't enough to really do severe damage like Jan Blachowicz did. And I think maybe that's a part of Alex Pereira really relying on the lead low kick, which maybe isn't as powerful as I thought, because Jan Blachowicz was using the rear low kick. That was kind of hitting the shin and calf and bruising it up. But Magomed Ankalaev wasn't, his leg was bruised. It was red. Both of their legs were actually red. But it just wasn't affecting Magomed Ankalaev that badly. Ankalaev was still doing completely fine, even in the later rounds in the striking. This was a huge surprise to me. I could see Ankalaev winning. Like, I didn't think that was out of the possibility. But just the way that he won actually really surprised me because I was not expecting, Alex Pereira to be on the back foot like he was. And that's pretty much what he was doing, especially in the later rounds. I think he was getting tired maybe, or it was probably the striking, he got landed on a lot. And he just did not look like himself. And I think Magomed Ankalaev kind of did that to Alex. Right? I'm not taking any credit away from Ankalaev. I think the reason Alex Pereira looked, different than he's ever looked is because of Ankalaev. Alex Pereira, struggled with a lot of things Ankalaev was offering. And I think he can make some adjustments in the rematch, but I don't know if that's going to win him the fight. It was a super close fight though, but Alex Pereira was getting rocked. Maybe, the next fight he gets put out or something like that. I don't know. But I do not think this was a robbery. I gave it to Magomed Ankalaev. I scored it 3-2 Magomed Ankalaev. And I'm assuming there's going to be a rematch next. I heard Dana White, I think in the post-fight press conference talking about, that's most likely going to happen next. There's not really anybody else to fight Ankalaev. I don't think, Alex Pereira should fight Yuri Prochazka as a number one contenders because that just doesn't make any sense. That just creates another holdup for no reason. Have Alex Pereira do the rematch. He's pretty warranted. I mean, he has like 3 title defenses. He's the most entertaining guy in the division. He's beat Yuri twice. There's no point in him fighting Yuri again. He destroyed Jamal Hill. I think you just do Alex Pereira a rematch really quickly. If Ankalaev wins, then, what happens to Alex Pereira? I think he should probably retire, honestly. I mean, he could go up to heavyweight, like he kind of did against Adesanya. He got beat by Adesanya. He went up to light heavyweight, won a fight against a contender, and then got the title shot. He could try to do that, but I just don't think if you're losing to Magomed Ankalaev, what the fuck does Tom Aspinall do to you? I think he fucking embarrasses Alex Pereira if Alex Pereira goes up to heavyweight. I predicted this, I always assumed that Tom Aspinall would destroy Alex Pereira. But after this fight, it really convinced me that, Pereira is just, he struggles with the boxing, especially like defending against, the straight punches, even the looping punches. Pereira was barely missing, like a wild looping. I saw this wild looping hook by, Magomed Ankalaev. Pretty telegraphed. Alex Pereira almost got hit with that. The dude kind of looks like a zombie when he's avoiding shots. He's just kind of very stiff. I think Tom Aspinall would fucking smoke Alex Pereira if they fought, especially in the boxing. I think he would just put out Alex Pereira if he wanted to stand. I don't think he has a chance. He could go up to heavyweight and get some fun fights because there's no one really else to fight in light heavyweight. There's no point if you already lost to Ankalaev twice and you're just getting older. Maybe he moves to heavyweight, or maybe he retires or goes to boxing or something like that. I know, there's talks about him versus Usyk. I don't know if he's going to get that fight, but he could try to go to boxing. But speaking of Tom Aspinall, there's kind of a silver lining with this Alex Pereira loss, especially if he loses to Ankalaev again. And it's that Jon Jones has no other option but to fight Tom Aspinall. And this is probably the best thing to happen, honestly. This is like the best thing to come of Alex Pereira losing. It's just the fact that Alex Pereira is not a negotiation tool for Jon Jones to try to skirt away from Tom Aspinall, because we know Jon Jones is terrified of Tom Aspinall. And now Jon Jones is backed into a corner and he has no other option but to fight Tom Aspinall or relinquish the belt, you know? And someone asked Dana White about this in the post-fight press conference, saying, you know, Tom Aspinall came out with that video. I covered the entire video Tom Aspinall made. And the reporter told him, you know, Tom Aspinall said he's agreed to everything. It's basically Jon Jones's side holding it up. And Dana White kind of hesitated for a second. He almost didn't know what to say. And he just relied on, yeah, we're just working on when and where. I don't fucking buy that at all. I don't. When and where? Does it really take that long to figure out when and where? Like, yeah, it's called International Fight Week, the biggest pay-per-view of the year in Las Vegas. I just solved it for you. It shouldn't take that long to figure out when and where. I get there's other moving parts, but that seems like a weird excuse. You know, Dana White seems like he's defending, you know, Jon Jones and trying to hide the fact that he's pussying out of this fight. Like, you don't have to lie to us. Just strip Jon Jones if he doesn't want to fight. No, he doesn't have to fight Tom Aspinall, but don't hold up the division, because there's other people that we can put up against Aspinall and get a real heavyweight champion in here. Not these fake ass fights with 42-year-old Stipe, you know, retired fireman. Let's get in the new wave of heavyweights. We can do Cyril Gane versus Tom Aspinall, no problem. So there's some big opportunities in that aspect, you know, and I think, you know, Alex Pereira losing, again, I'm not trying to cope or anything like this, right? It sucks that Alex Pereira lost. It'd be cool if he knocked out Ankalaev in the first round or something like that. You know, it'd make him a huge star. But there's a rematch opportunity, and Alex Pereira is not completely, you know, out of the contention to be champion again. Right? This dude didn't get dominated. But I think this rematch is going to be really close, and I think this rematch is going to be huge. I think it's probably going to be bigger than, you know, the original fight, you know, that we just watched in terms of pay-per-views and how much people are talking about it, because there's kind of a narrative. And Alex Pereira has a chance to kind of like, you know, do the Conor McGregor, go through his Conor McGregor arc, basically, where, you know, he lost to Diaz and then he got the win back, right? And his stardom kind of went back to where it was before he lost to Nate Diaz. I think Alex Pereira could do that, right? Because light heavyweight, just because he's 38 doesn't mean he's really like completely getting washed. I don't think he looked that bad in terms of like aging in there. I just think Magomed Ankalaev made him look, you know, kind of stiff and kind of exposed the boxing defense weakness of Alex Pereira. And because we've seen guys like, you know, Glover Teixeira win the title in his 40s, I think Alex Pereira can get it done. I don't really know who I think is going to win. I haven't really pieced it together and thought about it. I don't know what Alex Pereira's game plan is going to be next, but I sure as hell hope it's not the same fucking game plan he did in this fight, because I think there was a lot of things Alex Pereira could have done to win this, and I was expecting him to do, like that jab and just like standing his base. Like, stand your base, man. You're Alex Pereira and you can't stand your base. I get it. It's Ankalaev. He's a good striker, but if you're the best striker in the world, you shouldn't be getting backed up the whole time, or at least most of the time. That's what I think about this fight, guys. I was wrong. I'll admit it. You know, my entire video about, you know, this not being close was pretty much entirely wrong. Like, I think I covered these fighters pretty well, but my final conclusion was definitely wrong, because this fight was close. No one clearly won this fight at all. But now that we got this fight covered, I think there's a couple other ones I want to cover, starting with the Mauricio Ruffy versus Bobby Green. Holy shit. That was an insane highlight. I think that's honestly knockout of the year so far. I don't think there's actually a debate that that's knockout of the year. Spinning wheel kick to Bobby Green's head. Knocked him out cold. No follow-up, nothing. He fucking ragdolled to the ground. I was predicting Ruffy to win by knockout. Not like this, though. That's crazy. I think that's actually pretty lucky that happened. It was a super sick knockout. One of those rare things where people throw a wheel kick and it actually lands. How many times do people throw wheel kicks and it doesn't land? We saw Alex Pereira throw a wheel kick in this fight against Ankalaev. Doesn't land. We see people throw wheel kicks all the time, never lands. Mauricio Ruffy lands that shit, and it's one of the best knockouts, one of the best spinning wheel kick knockouts ever, other than maybe Edson Barbosa's, you know, legendary knockout. But yeah, that was a sick knockout. I think Ruffy should get a ranked opponent next. I don't think Bobby Green's ranked. he can't be, because he just lost to Patty Pimblett, who's like number 15. Boring women's fight. I don't know why they even put that on the main card. It was bullshit. You know, ESPN, I think, trying to force UFC to, you know, put some certain undeserving fights on the main card. After that, we had Jalen Turner versus Ignacio Bahamondes. And Jalen Turner lost. He lost, you know, by submission. And Jalen Turner retired. I was not expecting a submission win. I think a lot of us were expecting the knockout. But no, he pulled guard actually on his back. I thought he was out of his mind, but he ended up getting the submission on Jalen Turner. I think it was a really good performance. He's looking like a prospect right now. Bahamondes is looking like a big prospect. He's looked great in all of his fights, and this is no exception. And then we have Justin Gaethje versus Fiziev. 3-round fight. It was, you know, pretty good. Justin Gaethje, you know, stunned and rocked and dropped, you know, Rafael Fiziev in the second round, I'm pretty sure. This does not warrant Justin Gaethje a title shot. People are talking about that. Dana White brought that up. Do not give Justin Gaethje a fucking title shot after beating number 11 ranked Rafael Fiziev. This is a guy who just got knocked out by Max Holloway a year before. He's coming off of a knockout loss to Max Holloway, and you're going to give Justin Gaethje the title shot for Islam Makhachev? Yet Ilia Topuria just knocked Max Holloway the fuck out, the guy who knocked Justin Gaethje the fuck out, and he's not getting a title shot? This is bullshit, okay? And if this is the case, if we're giving Justin Gaethje the title shot for Islam Makhachev, that's what we're doing in 2025, this is going to be a little bit of a lackluster year. But I think Ilia Topuria, you know, regardless, is going to fucking beat any contender in 155 in his way. I don't see any contender giving him problems. I don't know if it's going to be Oliveira, Arman. I think both of them get knocked the fuck out. And then the title shot for Ilia Topuria is going to be inevitable. I think Ilia Topuria gets a shot at the title by the end of this year, even if he has to fight a contender. But Justin Gaethje, that's pointless. A lot of people are talking about, you know, Islam Makhachev's legacy. He shouldn't fight a 45er, yet you're going to give him Justin Gaethje. Makes no fucking sense. Anybody who pays attention to the sport knows that Ilia Topuria is a much better win and a much tougher matchup than Justin Gaethje. That's a bullshit title shot. I don't want to see that. That's like a Dustin Poirier-esque, you know, title shot where at least Dustin Poirier got a good win against a surging contender, right? That was a favorite against him. Rafael Fiziev was not a surging contender. Yes, he was a favorite, but it's Fiziev, who was ranked 11, who Justin Gaethje already beat. It makes no sense. We want to see Ilia versus Islam, or we want to see Islam go up to 170. I'm not mad with either. If Islam Makhachev wants to go up to 170 and they can make that happen, that's completely fine. I'm not like dying for Ilia Topuria to fight Makhachev. I just want Ilia Topuria to get a title shot because we know how good this guy is, and we don't want to see fucking Justin Gaethje have another title shot opportunity. He got embarrassed by Charles Oliveira in the first fucking round. He got embarrassed by Khabib. This guy's not championship material. He's 36 years old. This is that should not be in the talks right now. That's how shit the matchmaking is, you know, these days. We had Justin Gaethje getting a title shot in 2025. Blows my mind. That's everything, guys. Let me know what you think about this fight. I got my prediction, my main event prediction, horribly wrong. Ankalaev proved me wrong. His striking looked way better than I thought. You know, his striking I always thought was good. Like, he has the second or third best striking in light heavyweight. What I thought before, you know, he fought Alex Pereira, but he really showed how effective it is. His boxing, how effective boxing is in UFC. It's been, you know, it's honestly one of the best tools you can have in UFC nowadays is just solid boxing and good defense. He kind of exposed Alex Pereira on the feet a little bit, right? He didn't completely dominate Alex Pereira, but he did make Pereira struggle, which I was not expecting. You know, I thought Pereira would be able to land something, but he just never really threw anything. So I did not expect that to happen. The pressure and the striking level, and even the threat of the takedown of Magomed Ankalaev won him this fight, right? He won this fight 3-2 in my opinion. And I'm looking forward to the rematch because I think this will be probably another close fight, honestly. Maybe Ankalaev can get the knockout in the second fight, or maybe Alex Pereira can get the knockout, right? Because if Alex Pereira changes some things, I think he could knock out Ankalaev and make it look easy. I'm still sticking by that. You know, if anybody gets a knockout, you make it look easy, right? Just because they're a hard opponent doesn't mean you can't make the fight look easy. But that's my recap of UFC 313. I thought this was a sick card. This was the best card of the year so far, from, you know, the bottom of the prelims to the top. I think most of the fights were bangers. And UFC 314 is looking like a good card too. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. If you guys like this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.